Okay, we're going to continue exploring graphs and of lines and using our calculator. In the first problem, you've got a line that's drawn for you, and it says which equation in the answer choices is going to match up best to this graph. So, first thing I want to do is find some really nice points that cross exactly at even spaces here. So, like for instance, here on this point has a nice cross right there, and -3 is the y-intersect there. So let's just list those points out, and then we'll use our table to, once we get our equations in, to see which one best fits this. So the first thing that we need to look at is what is this point right here? So to get to that point, you have to go over 4, x is 4, and then you have to rise up, looks like 3, so it's 4, 3, and then we had another easy cross right here. Let me erase that. That looks like x is equal to 2, right? You come over 2, and you don't go up at all, so it's 2, 0. And then finally, the last one is you start off, let's do this one, you start off at 0 at the origin, and you don't go side to side, you just go straight down, looks like 3 units. So that would be x is 0, and y is -3. So let's look at these answer choices here. This equation, these equations are not in our most favorite way to have them, where it's mx plus b, because then we can put it right directly in the calculator, right? But what we notice is that we have our x's and our y's, and then we have equal some number right over here. So if you remember from class, I showed you a technique where you can put these in the calculator without having to solve for y directly. You're just letting the calculator solve it for you. So let's review those steps. Alright, so the first thing I do is to put this first equation into the calculator. I start off with a parentheses, and I put the number in as is, and then I've got to move this x over, right? So how would you move a positive 3x? It's a positive 3x because it doesn't have a negative sign in front of it, so you would subtract 3x, right? So to subtract 3x, we're just going to put it right next to the -4. And let me draw that again. Sorry, that's kind of sloppy. We're going to subtract 3x, and then we're going to close our parentheses off, okay? And then we notice that this 3x has now been removed and moved over to the other side. But what's left is not just 2, but that negative, or that subtraction sign right in front of it, right? So instead of dividing by 2, we're going to divide by -2. So we divide by -2. Okay, so we'll put that equation in, and we'll see if that matches up with our points that we've already identified. So let's turn the calculator back on here and get it out of the way over here just a little bit. And turning it on, we get clear out anything we have in our graph. Start with the parentheses, and we have -4, subtract, not minus, but subtract 3x, close the parentheses, and we're going to hit the divide button. Divide by -2. Okay, we'll go right to the table by hitting second in graph, and we'll go to 4. Go to our table. 0 is matched up with 2, and we need it to be -3, right? So answer choice F is not it. Okay, so we'll do this. We'll write this other one out first as well. We'll do this one in blue. Start with the parentheses. The first number is a -6. We still have our -3x. Close our parentheses, And this time we're dividing not by -2 but by +2. Alright, back to the calculator. Y equals, clear it out. Well, actually we don't need to clear it out. Let's just type over what we need here. We have -4 in the old equation, but we need it to be -6. Still minus 3x, right? This time we're going to divide by a +2. So I'm just going to hit the delete key one time. And now I'm going to go to my table. And I see that 0 is equal to -3, which is good. Let's go look at 2. When x is 2, it's -6. At 2, we need it to be 0. So it's not going to be that one. So let's move on down to H. And we'll do that one in green. In green it would be +6 minus 3x, because that's a positive 3x. Close the parentheses. And this time, once again, we're going to divide not by 2 but by -2. And we'll see if that gives us the right answer. So we go back to our equation, y equals, and we're going to delete that negative by using the delete key right here in the top, and it's minus 3x, and it's divided by -2. So I'm just going to type in -2 and it'll replace that. Go back to my table, and let's see, we're looking for the 0 at -3, and that one matches up. Go down to 2, it's 0. And then let's go down to 4. When x equals 4, y equals 3 right there. And we found our answer. Okay, let's look at the last problem in this video. Here we have a blank graph which we could use to plot the points and find the slope. We're looking for the slope. And let's just go ahead and plot the points, and we'll just count over and up. Alright, so being very careful. In fact, I'm going to zoom in a little bit on this because it's easier on the computer to do that. And let's see if we can plot our points here. At 2, 0, we use red. 2, 0 is right there. And 0, 3 is right here. Right? The x is 0 and the y is 3. So you start off at the origin. If you don't go side to side, you just go up 3. Right there. In the first point we had our x and our y. I've already done this one, but let's review it here. So once again, if you start off at the origin, right here, you go over 2, and you don't go up at all because it's 0, so we're right there. Let me erase this part right here. Okay. And finally, we're going to go to 4, -3. So we're going to go over to 4 and down 1, 2, 3. That's that point right there. Let me erase those little dots. And let's count our slope. Well, the first thing you notice is that this graph, if we were to draw a line through there, and let's just draw a line. If we were to draw a line through there, it would look like something, whoop, that was a fail. Let's back that up. Let me erase that line if I can. Let's put that other point back on. 2, 0. Anyway, my point was, if you draw a line through there, and I'll just draw with a pen, it's going to go down. As you move from left to right, it's going down, so this indicates a negative slope. So let's just count them up here. So to get from the first point, we would go down 3 and over 2. If we go to the next red dot, we go down 3 and over 2. Down is negative, to the right is positive. So the slope, remember, is defined as rise over run. Mathematically, it's the y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So whenever I counted and I went down, that's y2 minus y1. So our slope is equal to, and it's the same rate every time, -3, 2. Okay, so let's go match the answer choices, and it looks like it's D. Okay, so just use your formula chart, plot some points if you need to, and slow down and just eliminate answer choices. Those are